Hello, friends. This is Andrew, the better half of the Around the Natty podcast. One quick thing before we jump into this wonderful episode that we have put together for you. You're going to notice something a little bit different. The intro/outro song, Tightrope by Walk the Moon, is going to be replaced by some royalty-free music. And we love the song. We wish we could use it. However, it's getting to the point where we're getting copyright claims before we even upload the episode just because YouTube is sensing it. It used to be, you could do it and nobody would notice and it would go past the algorithm and all that stuff. But we're getting to the point where it's just not doable anymore, and I think it affects the search algorithm and stuff like that. So it's getting to the point where we have to find something else that's not going to get flagged every time. So I'm going to be doing some research and finding a royalty-free track that I hope you like just as much. Another quick thing, a little housekeeping item that I forgot to touch on at the end of the podcast is I am looking in currently to adding it to Google Podcasts as well as Apple Podcasts. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, that is all I have for you guys. So, you know what, friends? Enjoy the show.
Shut up and sit down.
And welcome back to the Around the Natty podcast. This is episode 17, I believe.
Sure, sounds right.
Sure, okay. Well, we got some good news and some baseball in this one, which is something we haven't had in a long time, and it's definitely something to be excited about.
Baseball, you say?
Yeah.
I love baseball.
With the Reds right around the corner, definitely something I'm looking forward to with the abysmal performance of the Bengals.
You might even say that the Reds season is rounding third and heading home.
Nice. Nice.
Hey, listen, it's still Marty month in my mind.
Is it?
God love that man.
What was that, May?
I don't know, Reds Fest is right upon us, so
yeah,
why not?
dude.
I think he'll probably be there, right? You'd assume?
I think he was there today.
I was there today. We're going tomorrow.
We will be there.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I wonder if Moustakis will be there. He has to be, right?
No, I don't think Moose will be there.
He was there today?
Yeah, but he also just did his intro press conference, though, too.
That's true. That's fair. Well, let's get right into it, man. Here's where I want to start.
We're starting with
start a little Bearcats football.
Okay, let's do it.
They took on Memphis.
They sure did.
It did not go well at all.
No, I wouldn't say it didn't go well at all. Did you watch past the first half?
Yeah.
After the first half, I mean, honestly, the defense was dominant. Yeah. The offense had a few explosive plays. The running game came from places that I didn't really expect. Like, Mike Warden had a fine game. It wasn't his best game, but listen, I think all in all, you go in and it's a team that one was favored to win. You're playing in their home stadium. Mm-hmm. You're playing without your starting quarterback, which, we can have that discussion about who is the better quarterback. But you go in, you play pretty well. Listen, that game was anyone's game up until the last 7 minutes of the game, I think.
Yeah, and you know what? It came down to if UC could get a stop, and that last drive where they kind of put the nails in the coffin. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't have really been that way. That penalty at the end was a real cheap penalty when they had that stop.
Yeah. It wasn't a roughing the passer. It was a personal foul.
It was a personal foul because he
threw him to the ground.
It was like such a nothing call.
Right.
It was really, it's not something they should call when the game is on the line.
Right.
So let's hop right into it. And you kind of brought this up. Ritter wasn't on the field. Whether that makes the team better or worse, that's what we're going to discuss right now. And I'll start us off. I think Bryant is a fine quarterback. I think he's got better arm talent than Ritter. Here's my issue. I felt like he was a little bit more loose with the football. And I think in games where it comes down and it's a little bit tighter of a game, those turnovers really add up. And I believe he had 3. He had an interception and 2 fumbles.
2 fumbles. I don't think he lost me with the fumbles though. But my thing is, and this is what I'll say to that effect, is I think that he played well enough for him to win.
Yeah, I agree.
And I mean, with that game, yeah, he's gonna have some mistakes. But listen, most quarterbacks' first career starts don't come against the number 17th ranked team in the nation.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't come from what is supposedly supposed to be the best non-power conference school in the nation, and to come out and play as well as he did, I thought was awesome. I think if nothing else, it definitely this weekend shows, like, Ben Bryant showed that he can play.
He can definitely play.
And I think that it gives Ritter a shorter leash going forward because, I mean, if you look at, there's been games this year where he's thrown for like 96 yards, turned the ball over a couple times.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And then even hesitate to even go to Ben Bryant. And I think now, though, I think if you see him struggle both, this game and whatever bowl game we end up playing in, and then going forward, I think that Ben Bryant is a viable option, and not to mention you've got Mr. Ohio football coming in behind them. I'll probably redshirt him,
Prater?
I guess. Yeah. But or not Prater.
Yeah, it is.
Evan Prater is a linebacker.
Who am I thinking of?
Right? What's his last name? His first name's Evan.
I swear it's Prater.
Oh, is it? I don't know. Maybe
from Wyoming.
Look, the kid from Wyoming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought his name was something else. Anyways, doesn't matter.
Could be.
But again, I think that again, I think he played well enough to be a viable starter in the future, and
I agree. And I think what's a testament to how well he played is they've been him and Ritter aren't the same type of quarterback at all.
Ben Bryant is a better thrower of the football, I think.
Oh yeah, I mean his
arm talent is so much better.
Yeah, he beat like Ritter's passing total of like the past 4 or 5 games in the first half of last week.
Yeah,
and it's obviously a different offense when he's on the field, which is nice when your team is able to do that and be successful in doing that.
Right.
But they're going back to Ritter this week.
Right. Do you think that's the right call?
Yeah, I think you ride and die with your guy who got you there. You know what I mean? He got them to 10-1.
I mean, he has 3 career losses.
Yeah. I mean,
and two of them were to a top 10 team.
Ohio State and
UCF. And then the other one was Temple.
Yeah.
Who was really competitive last year.
Yeah, I think you ride and die with your guy. He's got more experience now. I think this is definitely something you revisit in the offseason and kind of go, hey, do we want to reevaluate our offense? Where you have a little bit more wiggle room to restructure and kind of change your personnel and stuff like that.
What concerns me is I think Ben Bryant really brought the ability to get into a shootout.
I agree.
And I think if you're going to get out and get into a barn burner, I think Ben Bryant's your guy. But I think that the one thing that Desmond Ritter brings to the table, I think it allows you to slow down the offense. Yeah. You can still play at tempo, but you can control the time of possession better. Yeah. With Desmond Ritter, because you're not going to have as much.
Turns over the ball less.
Yeah, and you're going to have the less turnovers, hopefully. And I think that allows you to, if your defense can still be dominant again this game, come out, play the possession game, win on special teams, win on defense, and you put yourself in a very good position to win. Listen, I think 2 or 3 plays aside here and there, we played great against Memphis last game.
Did you see that reverse pass?
Yeah. I mean, you saw different wrinkles they put in there. I think the adjustments made at halftime were great. UC did a very good job of controlling Gainwell, who coming into the game was probably the most dynamic rusher in college football. And even though, and I think that if he were at a power conference school, he would be in the Heisman race. I think he does everything well. He pass protects well.
Our defense is so stout, man, and we've been so fortunate to have such a good defense, just because of how minimal our offense has been. Can they go in there and beat? They're playing in Memphis again, right?
Yeah.
Can they go in there and get that win? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think they demonstrated last week that they're able to. The time slot's the same this week, so outside of, I mean, now it's going to be a Saturday instead of a Friday, obviously, but in terms of you've had the preparation will be the same. I think there's a little comfort going out there second time, having an idea of you've been there, and you know what? If nothing else, going with Desmond Ritter, if I'm a player and I'm saying, okay, well, what gives us a better chance to win today than last time? Like, first of all, you already feel good about the last week's win, but now you say, well, now we got our guy starting, and I think to the point of the question I asked you earlier is, did they make the? I think they did, because I think again it gives you an ability to tell your guys, look, we got our guy back.
Yeah.
We have every chance to win this week. We know we can stop them. We made the adjustments that we needed to make. Once we made our adjustments, we really shut them down on defense. We'll go out there with our guy on offense, and we're going to put some points on the board, and we're going to win this football game. I think that you can go in there and say with confidence that we can prevent them having a 21-point first half like they did in this past game, and then going forward really set yourself up to, at the end of the game, be really close and competitive, which it was last game, but maybe even more so now.
We didn't even talk about that. They were down a 21-point deficit.
Right.
And they clawed back into that game.
Oh, yeah.
I think you come out there with a better game plan. I think one thing that needs to be noted is Fickle is a really good game plan guy, a really good adjustment guy. And I think getting a live action look and kind of seeing what they have to offer and then going back to the drawing board and making some tweaks and some fine adjustments to go out there and make the product better.
Good coaches know how to write a script. Great coaches know how to play off the script, and that's what they had to do last week. And I think it was a testament to the coaches. It was a testament to the football team to be able to execute the adjustments made at halftime. And going forward, I think they have a really good chance. So,
yeah, I agree. That's what we're going to say about that.
Score predictions?
Do you want to do that?
Let's do it.
I started off last week.
You were pretty close last week, actually.
What was my score prediction?
You were 28-21.
Yeah, and what the score end up being?
It was like 35.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Like that, so.
You know what? I'm probably going to go something a little bit similar. You go first. I'm going to think.
That's soft, by the way. That is very soft.
I went first last time, you son of a bitch.
I defer.
I want the ball second half.
To Logan because
I want the ball second half.
So I'm going to go. The Cats find a way to come back in part 2. The Thrill of Manila. And they're going to win. We're going to say 20. I'm going to say the Cats win 28-21. I'm going to take your score from last week.
Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think
this is exactly what we did last week. I really feel like this is like it's like deja vu.
I'm going to get a little bit higher.
I said that?
Yeah.
Last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had them like 16.
No, I said 21-17.
Oh. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I think it's gonna be a shootout. Actually, you know what? No.
I'm gonna do an opposite thing.
Listen. I'm thinking out loud here. I think we slow the game down with Ritter. I think you take away possessions from Memphis.
Yeah.
Shut up. I think we go. It's closer. 14-17 Cats.
Okay.
Boom.
All right. Boom. Bro.
Boom. Moving on, sons of bitches.
Ooh.
Let's do it. Bearcats basketball.
Yeah, big weekend.
You know what week it is.
UC Sports, baby. It's time for the...
Sorry, we have a dog here.
Easy there, Mo. He's excited, too.
We're not at our traditional location, so...
I think it's time for the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. And Mo the dog is really excited.
But yeah, I mean, this is the biggest game of the year. This can dictate how a lot of UC fans feel on the season.
Yeah.
And despite how they play before this, despite how they play after this, people are going to remember this game.
Yeah.
So, this is really X's game to lose. X is the better team here, I think. Especially with the Bearcats being earlier in the transition process. I think both teams are kind of in that process, but I think Xavier's a little bit.
I mean, listen,
more mature.
I really think that this UC team is exactly where Xavier's team was last year. Time, which is they're trying to find an identity. or the coaching staff trying to instill the identity upon the team that they want to have. The players are trying to figure out a way to operate effectively within the system that they have in front of them.
Right.
The best player being Jaron Cumberland, Amber Alert, because he's been
going on,
been missing.
man?
He's supposed to. I mean, he's hurt right now, so he might not even play Saturday. So that would be problematic. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if the Bearcats want to win, they need a big game from Jaron Cumberland. And if he doesn't play, I don't see the Cats winning. If I'm being honest with you, and right now it doesn't look like he's gonna play. So.
It's horrible, man. You know what? One thing I'm surprised about is Javen's playing well.
Yeah.
Every time I see a stat line from that man, he's dropping 20, 21, 22 points every time.
Yeah, I will tell you, the one thing that works for the Cats is I think that in general the Big East this year is really weak. So it's not like Xavier's really had to play to any. Well, I guess they haven't played conference games yet, so it doesn't really matter. But regardless, I think Xavier coming in is just as much a big question mark as UC. They just dropped from the top 25 rankings as well.
They're 27, right?
Yeah, I don't know where they have it. That's outside the top 25 and going in. I think that the biggest key here is seeing if John Brannon can effectively, because he's going to press. See if he can use the press effectively to disrupt Quentin Gooden and. That's if you can get him to turn the ball over 3+ times a game like this game, I think it really sets you up well for success. Getting out in transition is gonna be really important. I think that's one thing that's been really great for the Cats this year is their ability to utilize Trey Scott and Kevin Williams. They've been hugely more effective on offense, giving you points outside of just Jaron Cumberland running ISO every time down the court. And I think that's going to be huge. The press, getting out in transition, taking the crowd out of it. And I think if you can do those things, then you have a good chance to win.
I agree. And I think another big part of this game, and it's not really basketball related, but it's to manage your emotions here.
Yeah.
These teams hate each other. There's no secret there. Obviously it's not as heated as it was in previous years, but these teams don't like each other.
To your point, I think that the rivalry has transformed a little bit.
Yeah, especially with Cronin being gone.
Because I think a lot of it was like Mick Cronin versus Chris Mack for a long time, and now with Travis Steele and John Brannon, I think it takes on a life of its own. And if you listen to John Brannon though, and in any interviews he's been recently, while he said that their preparation is the same as in every other game. He understands, and his players understand, and it is clear that this is not just any other game. This game. There's more hype around it, as there should be. I was listening, or I was reading online. A couple of ESPN sports writers were talking about how if this were a power conference school or schools, like this would be one of the biggest rivalries in college basketball, because they think that this is. It just is. It's just big. I mean, this is just as big for us as UNC, North Carolina. Listen, they're less than 15 minutes away from each other. These two schools are. You hear about it. I don't care. At the end of the day, you're still a kid at a school. You hear about when you lose to Xavier.
Yeah, I mean, you're out at the bars, and I mean, God, if you end up in a wrong bar. And you're wearing a wrong jersey, man. It's game on. I mean, it's always been that way.
Side note: Nate Ford Clark was invited to come on the show this evening, and he declined.
You invited him on the show?
Yeah, because he's a Xavier fan, and so I figured we'd get a different perspective.
Yeah.
But he's lame, and he
declined. Damn, Nate. That's
so
cold, bro.
Instead, he's putting sports bets out in Indiana because he's an Ohio resident. We can't do that here.
Fair enough. All right. Anything else you want to tap on there?
No, I think we're pacing ourselves really well, though. I think we're going to be on time for a nice 30-minute episode today.
I think
so. We've been going a little long.
It's
recently.
Also super late. It's 12:45 on a Friday.
Yeah. But we're going to try to get this out tomorrow for you guys before the show, before the games.
I'm going to edit it down tonight. I'm going to pull a late night and kind of get that
Working
done.
On the night
one thing.
Baby.
I'll hit it at the end.
Yeah, hit it, baby.
I know based on what I have here, Logan, we're supposed to hit Reds yet, but there's one thing I want to hit before we get there and just, talk about it a little bit. That's the Bengals. The season's been shitty. It hasn't been fun. But, one thing that was really fun was was getting to the point in watching Andy Dalton come back with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I had a really
that
good
ball was coming out fast.
Yeah, it definitely was with some animosity behind it. It was good to see him out there. I think he came out, and it's definitely a nice change of pace of watching Finley flutter those balls out.
Balls.
Oh my god.
Again, soft penis debutante. I reassert.
Let's be honest here. They are night and day. Andy Dalton. I think this just reaffirms my opinion that Andy Dalton has got a lot of life left in him.
Well, and you know what's funny is after watching Ryan Finley play, I beckon back upon all the times I've heard, Andy Dalton's arm strength. All I need. I'm like, wow. Well, I'll take that weak ass arm.
Yeah.
Quote unquote of Andy Dalton's over Ryan Finley any day. That's that because that was.
I mean, Andy Dalton was threading the needle, man.
Stroking it. He was stroking it.
He was stroking it, bro.
Yeah, the red rifle.
He was threading the needle. I mean that. Let's also give him congratulations. Broke 2 franchise records on Sunday.
Dude, he was pumping his balls in like Phillip Rivers pumps stuff into his wife. You know.
Good Lord. He passes Ken Anderson.
On franchise leader
on both passing touchdowns and completions.
Yep.
That's huge, and it just comes with being successful in a franchise for 9 years, and it's a shame that this season's gone the way it is. Yep. But I've been really excited. I was really excited just to watch him get the win and see the team still together, and that's a testament to Zach Taylor.
And I hope he continues to do well because honestly, there will be a market for Andy Dalton.
I agree. The Bears should have done it at the trade deadline.
Oh no, they just worked the Cowboys last night. Did you see that?
Yeah, but Mitch Trubisky's not good at football.
I agree.
He's so bad.
I agree, but they worked them those D boys.
Them boys.
D boys.
It's late. But yeah, late. I just want to say congratulations. We do not have a perfect season. We do not match the Dolphins. We do not match the Browns. Pumped. I did not want to go 0-16 and have that stain on the NFL.
I just need the number 1 pick this, so don't do me wrong.
Another point, to your point, both Washington and Miami won on Sunday.
Yeah, but
big dubs. Giants and Giants.
Giants only have 1 win, don't they? Or they have 2.
They have 2 wins. So, going forward, so if we win like 2 games, we go from 1 to 4.
Yeah, we don't want that.
I do not want that because that gets you into the point where you're talking about how healthy is Tua and
I want Tua still
and Herbert.
I don't want Justin Herbert.
What's Herbert's upside? I'll vomit.
If I don't
hear me, if they draft Herbert, I'll vomit.
I'll tell you what. I don't want to get too much into the Bengals train. We could sit and talk Bengals for 30 minutes.
I could talk Bengals every day, all day.
I know,
but. Let's talk about something that isn't going to make us clinically depressed. Let's talk about a franchise who wants to get stuff done, who wants to win games, whose front office
they just want to wet their whistle.
Yeah,
just wet the
front office seems to know like seems like they have a plan. Now, whether that plan is going to be a viable one and is going to get them to the postseason, we're going to talk about that right now. The Cincinnati Reds signed 3-time All-Star Mike Moustakas, biggest free agency signing ever in franchise history. Now, that's not based on percentage of their cap. That's based on just... We shut the hell up. That's based on number. So, let's go ahead and dive right into that. Mike Moustakas fills a big gap that the Reds had last year, and that's second base, which is where he's going to be playing most of his time.
And there's some skepticism to that because he only played a short amount of time at second. Listen, I think that the reason why I signed him wasn't for his defense.
Right.
He'll be serviceable at second base. He'll be fine. He adds great power to our lineup, which we really needed.
35 home runs last year.
Yeah, you put him in a ballpark where our offense largely unproduced with the starting rotation that was very effective. I think it'll be a really great asset to us going forward and really sets us up well. We continue to make a couple of acquisitions, and it'll be great. And I don't want to move on from Mike Moustakas too fast, but I think that the infield now is pretty solidified. We have an idea of what's going to look like. It's probably going to be Galvis, Suarez.
Galvis.
Moustakas
and Votto. And that's pretty good.
It's very formidable. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I think there's quite reasonably things to consider with all of those. One, Freddie Galvis didn't have a job during the season at one point, so take that into consideration.
He played well though at the end of the season.
Oh, I agree. But again, he demonstrated that he has the ability to play very poorly. So let's keep that in mind. Let's also understand that Eugenio Suarez, that was an unbelievable year. To think that he's going to expect that he will repeat that year to that same level would be a little. I mean, if we get that, that's great. I just don't think it's not inconceivable. He comes out and does a little bit less than he did last year.
I think he can come out, and I think even if it's less, it's still a great season.
Listen, my thing that scares me in terms of the lineup is there's a lot of question marks out in the outfield.
The outfield is very iffy.
We don't have any of the current three starting.
Winker, Senzel
have not played full seasons. Aristides, Aquino have not played full seasons.
Yeah, I agree.
We have again. There's a lot of upside there. A ton of upside.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of risk though.
You gotta play the
risk.
game, man. It's a game of chance, and I think.
Here's my question too. Do they look at trying to get Jonathan India up, put him out in left field, bring Winker off the bench, something? I don't know. Does Mikey Biceps find more time out in that outfield? I don't know.
Here's the thing. I saw an interview with Dick Williams. He said they're not done.
Right. Yeah, and that's my thing too. I'm really curious to see what they do. Because listen, the years where we've made big splashes, we've gone out and made big trades. Okay, so that's usually how we've made our acquisitions, who have been really effective for us. Whether that was the Matt Latos or whatever it might be. Those were the Scott Rowland. They're usually these trades that we get that have helped propelled us from one level to the next.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to see what that move is. And I think the other question is too, how much are you all in for this year? Because I think that there are players like Mookie Betts who are on a 1-year contract still, or Francisco Lindor who's on a 2-year contract. Are you willing to sell a farm for 1 or 2 years? And I can guarantee you that what I can tell you is that we can't afford to re-sign Mookie Betts if we trade for him. That's he would command too much money on the market.
Lindor as well.
Yeah, and with Lindor, you get 2 years there versus the 1 year, so maybe then you give a little more greater consideration to that. But I don't know. That's a question I don't know the answer to. And, but there's some risk there, and I think that you have to sit down and evaluate. Okay, to what extent are we willing to sell for you? Because here's my thing: is listen, if you win a World Series, no one else is going to care about anything else that you do. But what I will say to that effect is, we didn't go through 5 years of being horrible and losing 90 games.
To sell the farm.
To only be good for a year or two, right? No, you do it to be sustainably good. Look at the Astros. The Astros were bad for years
because they're a bunch of dirty ass cheaters stealing signs. You sons of bitches.
But now they've been the consummate competitors.
Yeah.
They've been viable. World Series competitors, and now we have
competitors.
Yeah, you liked that one, didn't you? Yeah, that was the new one. You liked it, didn't you? He likes it. He likes it like that. Yeah, I like it like that. But yeah, no. So, anyways, I think that's kind of where we're at, and where you have to decide. Where do you draw that line?
Yeah. Here's what I don't understand is, I guess I understand it a little bit, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. They're in on all these pitchers, and I think right now our pitching staff's pretty solid. I think it's one of the more solid pitching staffs in the league. On both sides. You got Castillo, who may regress a little bit, but you know what? I still think he's a solid pitcher. You got Bauer, he's kind of up and down. Mm-hmm. Disco, who's okay. Malley is the only one I'm iffy about, and then who's our fifth? Sonny Gray.
Sonny Gray, thank you.
Yeah, who's been lights out. And if we can keep going, I think. Did you see Derek Johnson won Coach of the Year?
Yeah.
I think he's more deserving of that. I think that man is just the best, the best at what he does. He's a goddamn wizard.
He's great at the things he's good at.
Who said that? I saw that on Twitter.
Woody Johnson. That's what he told all the guys when he first came in. He said, "We're gonna make sure that you're great at what you're good at."
Yeah, and
That's what he said, and then someone tweeted it when they found out it was one of the players, like
yeah,
quoted it. And
that's such an underrated statement.
Yeah.
Because a lot of pitching coaches are like, we need you to develop this pitch, and this pitch.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, just let them do what they want to do.
Yeah,
let them do what got them here.
It might be the cha-cha, I like a dua the cha-cha.
I'd like to do
the cha-cha.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see them wheel and deal here. I think the big difference between them and the Bengals is I feel like they have a plan, and I feel like they're willing to, spend the money to execute that plan.
It is clear that there is a desire within that franchise to win.
Yeah, and that's so goddamn refreshing. I can't even explain to you how happy I was to see them. Every time you see a free agent, you see the Reds' name there.
Yep.
Regardless of the price.
Even Zach Wheeler.
Wheeler was up to $100 million.
Right.
And they threw their nuts on the table and they were in on that trade or on that deal, and I'm like that's awesome, and
right.
that's not something we get a lot here in Cincinnati. And
no doubt.
I'm really excited. So.
No doubt. And here's my thing, just going to the Bengals Reds thing. Baseball is a sport with no cap. There's no salary cap in baseball. Realistically, a small market team has no business ever competing with any larger market team in free agency.
Yeah.
Realistically, in baseball, a small market team should never go out and get premier free agents. That being said, in football, there's not. Everyone is on the same exact playing field. Everyone has the same money that they have to spend, and everyone has the same amount of money that they can spend maximally. And yet, time after time after time, the Bengals fail to do anything effective in free agency and go after any big names or make an acquisition that really matters or is effective. So, again, to your point, it's refreshing. It's exciting. You and I are talking about buying a season ticket package, like a 10-game package or whatever, a pick six or whatever. That'd be cool.
I'm into it. I'm into that idea. One, just because that stadium's so fun to be at.
Oh, that's a great place.
GABP is.
I like working there, man. It's fun.
I love it. I love to go there and just.
I want to dip my balls in it.
Buy a $10 coney and a $50. What the hell is that? And a $50 beer. But yeah, I don't have anything else on that. We're gonna keep this one kind of short. It is kind of late.
Yeah. Well, I think for a listening aspect, I think that they probably prefer listening like a 30
yeah.
minute
I mean,
I don't know.
I like the hour format, Logan. It's fine, but
it's cool. It's kosher.
We're gonna give them a little mini pod this week.
Yeah.
There's a lot of topics we wanted to hit on marginally, and the Reds one was really the only one I wanted to hit full tilt. So
full tilt, baby.
Full tilt.
We're talking full raging.
We're talking rock hard. Wicked hard.
With wicked hard. Yeah.
So real quick though, also in other sporting news, local sporting news. First of all, as much as I give them mess, shout out to the Elder Panthers for making it to the state championship
get this
game.
Off my podcast.
We just found they lost, unfortunately.
Lol.
But more importantly, shout out to local tennis legend Hannah Browerman being named academic all-conference.
What?
What? All-conference honorable mention and all-conference sportsmanship award. Yeah.
Come here.
Come here.
HB, come here.
Shout out to HB.
Come here.
She's actually here right now with us recording.
Just a bit.
So I just want to give her a shout. You can follow her on Twitter at Browerman. Hannah.
You got any words that you'd like to say to the people?
Would you like to, share your words with the people.
Lean in. You're going to have to lean in. I'll lean this way.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for having me. This is such an honor.
She'd also like to thank God.
Yes, I guess I'd like to thank God. And that's it. Over and out.
All right.
So that was
boy.
Local tennis legend, Mount St. Joseph University.
Legend. Goddamn legend.
4-year starter at Mount St. Joseph University.
She was taking on men, dude. She's just in there going up over top.
You can catch her at some more matches this spring. She'll be playing for the men's team again this spring. So.
Wait, what year are you?
She's a senior.
Oh.
So this is her last season on the women's team in the fall, and then.
So that was for last year. This award was for last.
No. This is for this past fall, like this fall.
Oh, so you have it in both semesters?
So women's is a fall sport, and the men's is a spring sport.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's unique.
So.
All right. Well, let's hit on this all the socials before we wrap up here.
Yeah, so you can follow me at chow_Logan.
Yeah, and I'm at Girly Hummin. That's at GIRLIEHUMMIN.
Follow the show both on Instagram and Twitter at around_the_Nati.
We are on Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe there.
That's how you're listening to us right now, actually.
Yeah, that's true. One of them. The links are on our Twitter. They're on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Please follow. Please subscribe. Please share that stuff out. It really means a lot. We appreciate it.
Did you see I posted a poll?
Yeah.
I posted a poll.
It's about time. I mean, you're like, I'll post a poll of this and this and this and this, and then
I did,
and then none come out. It's like
one came out.
But yeah, no. Follow us on all that stuff.
It always comes, just never too quick,
Right. All right. Well, I don't have anything else. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hanging out and joining us this week.
Hope you enjoyed this short one today.
Yeah, short and to the left, the story of our lives.
Yeah.
And hopefully you enjoyed. Anyways, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, follow us on the socials, interact with us. We'd love to hear from you. And other than that, Gamble, any final words?
Toaster oven.
Okay, very good. On that note, we'll catch you around the Natty.